Hey there guys, what's going on? So, in this particular video for today, we mashed together two of my favorite subjects, music and vinyl, arguably my favorite format of all of them to talk about music and put here on my channel, of course, as anyone could tell you in all the videos and things I've done talking about all this stuff under the sun that just makes me so nerdily happy and crazy and all of that. But today, I wanted to do sort of a vinyl haul video, which it's been a little bit since the last tried and true haul video that I've done. Of course, in this mixture, in the order that they end up going up, you'll see like Record Store Day 14 stuff and that kind of thing. And there's hauls in that sense, but this is fun in a way because one of the great things that I find about going to record stores, and especially my favorite one, which, as I always like to usually say, I never miss a chance to promote them, Angry Mom Records in Ithaca, New York. One of my favorite things to do when I go to a record store is, of course, I'm always drawn to the new stuff, the indie artists, the what's new in the shop in general, and you go and you sort through the stacks and see, oh, if this album by so and so is here that wasn't here before, or what stock is available of this and this. But sometimes, even if your favorite record shop or what have you is that they have new stock in and a new bunch of stuff, sometimes it just doesn't pertain to your interests and matters like that. So you end up, or at least I find myself always going to a really nice backdrop, which is the fact that with most of these record stores, when you get a nice sizable place that has a lot of stock and a lot of variety and such, you really tend to have a lot of good luck with finding old classics, which I absolutely love. It's not really an expensive process. You can find a lot of just great old stuff that plays beautifully, that in fact I've even heard people have the debate and kind of say that they feel the old slightly warbled, very bendy, like very easily, not, they don't look like they're high quality, but the old stuff just despite looking kind of floppy and maybe not as like great as like 180 gram version vinyl is still plays like the best thing out there. But we got a lot to cover because really did fantastically this last time out, and I want to get right to it here with the freewheelin' Bob Dylan. Now, of the many great Dylan covers over the years, this probably has to be one of the most famous, with Bob and his girlfriend of the time, Suze Rotolo, who actually became very, very well known and iconic because of how iconic this photo was, of course. Sadly, she passed away last year, I believe. But really one of the great early Dylan records, sort of, before branching out into, the greater expanse of electric sound and blues and gospel way down the line and different things, different places that he would go into. This was really still in that early, very relatably folky Dylan period, which was, of course, one of the many times he brilliantly excelled, of course. And so many good songs on this record: "Blowin' in the Wind," of course, "Girl from the North Country," which is the one before, or I actually don't know which order they go into, or which order they go into by year, but this is the version of "Girl from the North Country" that's not on Nashville Skyline, which has Johnny Cash trading vocals with Bob, and it's kind of a slower version, which I think I actually like a little bit more, and I like how they sing it all together compared to this one, but it's still very good. "Masters of War," Bob Dylan's blues, "Hard Rain's Gonna Fall." It's amazing to think so many iconic songs, or songs you just will hear in passing of Dylan, or because he'll just be played forever and ever, obviously. Just so many great songs grouped onto one album. Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. Bob Dylan's Dream, the old standard song that I've heard several different interpretations of, from Leo Kottke to Hazy Malaise, Karina Karina, and Honey Just Allow Me One More Chance. Really great roster of songs on this record. On the back here you get these, and I was just talking about this in a video recently, I believe, you get these great long, like, reviews, not so much reviews, but like descriptions, sort of just giving you a lot of detail, courtesy of an author, and I guess it really is a review in this case, courtesy of this guy, Nat Hentoff. Mr. Hentoff is a frequent contributor to such periodicals as The Reporter, The New Yorker, Playboy, Common West, and The Village Voice, and is a contributing editor to Hi-Fi Stereo Review. And it just kind of gives you a lot of detail on the various songs on the record, kind of breaking them down piece by piece. Like, the first of Dylan's songs in this set is Blown in the Wind. In 1962, Dylan said of the song's background, "I still say that some of the biggest criminals are those that turn their heads away when they see wrong and know it's wrong. I'm only 21 years old, and I know that there's been too many wars. You people over 21 should know better." All he prefers to add by way of commentary now is, "The first way to answer these questions in the song is by asking them. But lots of people have to first find the wind." On this track, and except when otherwise noted, Dylan is heard alone, accompanying himself on guitar and harmonica. But that's the back there. You get a lot of description and insight, which I like with a record like that. I like to know in advance. And you get it on the great Columbia label, which has the very, just very recognizable inner sleeve, sticker there. Always makes me think of Bob Dylan or Bruce Springsteen, or I want to say even Billy Joel had a record or two with that pressing. Just very, very notable, very iconic for many reasons here with the freewheelin' Bob Dylan. And to get to the next one here, let's shuffle them around a little bit. We go to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers with Damn the Torpedoes. Now, Tom is, I've known of Tom's music for a very long time, as, many people have had. He's had many radio hits and has really, broken through for a great deal of fame over decades, up till, still making great songs, great music even now. And recently I had gotten his first record proper with the Heartbreakers, which is a fantastic just example of an American rock record without, like, crazy, like pushing every button 1980s sound or something like that. And this is just kind of holding true to the same sort of deal in a sense. This was printed actually at the end of the 70s, 1979, and has Refugee, Here Comes My Girl, Even the Losers, Don't Do Me Like That, You Tell Me, Shadow of a Doubt. Really solid all-around record here. Here they all are on the back, actually. Tom, Ben Montench, Mike Campbell, Stan Lynch, Ron Blair. I don't know if that's their current lineup these days, but I do know that, of course, Ben Montench and Mike Campbell are still with Tom. And Ben Montench seems to pretty much just appear everywhere. He's always playing keys and organ and work on somebody's record, it seems like. But inside, we have another photo of Tom, and then a photo of the whole band with some comedic work involved there. All songs written by Tom Petty except Here Comes My Girl and Refugee, which was co-written with Tom and Mike Campbell, recorded at Sound City in Van Nuys, California, which is yet another great reason to watch the Sound City documentary that Dave Grohl did, that I have had waiting to watch for far too long for me to admit now, because I know I'm going to enjoy it when I see it. And just your basic informative details on the record here on the Backstreet MCA Records label with that little sticker. Plays very nicely. Again, one of the great things I love about going out and getting classic records, classic old stuff, is just you get a decent price for something that just plays with such just beautiful familiarity and surround and warmth and energy right off the the grittiness of the needle. It's fantastic. Next up, well, we have what I think is one of my favorite bargains here with Paul Simon, and I believe this is just a self-titled album. I'm guessing because there's nothing else on the front of the label, so I'm gonna take a pretty good guess. That's what it is. Again, great, excellent songs here, just like with Tom Petty or Dylan there. Just very recognizable off the bat. Mother and Child Reunion. Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard, which has probably one of the most recognizable opening riffs, and is probably a stereotype for just about any Wes Anderson movie, basically. Papa Hobo's on here. And one of the great things that I really love about Paul Simon's work is whether it's with Simon and Garfunkel, solo, what have you, there's always not only a great familiarity to capturing Paul's work, or songs that you know, Sound of Silence, or Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard, or 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, like things that really just, But at the same time, there's this great, there's just this great ease and like velveteen embrace of like Paul's lyrics and his songs and stuff, where even like if you hear tracks and stuff off of like a record like this that you're not as immediately familiar with, somehow it just has this like feeling of something you've heard or you could just easily relate to. It's nice right off the bat, and that's just, I think, one of the most rewarding things about Paul in terms of his overall career and his music every time that I seem to hear it. Inside is a lyric sheet there. Nice little lyric sheet, another photo of Paul with a very friendly looking dog there. Let me get down to our final couple here. We will revisit Bob Dylan with Highway 61 Revisited. Now, I've been trying to get my paws on this record for quite a while. Not that it's been hard to find, it's just one of those things where circumstance and coincidence just weren't quite matching up. Again, plays excellently. Great, iconic songs. I think it's so apropos that you put on the record, and side one, and the first thing that pops on and pops in is Like a Rolling Stone, which is just that like uplifting lilt of an intro that just is like, oh, that song, that's such a great song. It Takes a Lot to Laugh, Takes a Train to Cry, Ballad of a Thin Man, Queen Jane Approximately, Highway 61 Revisited, and the great and lengthy Desolation Row, which is probably one of the most interestingly fluent and out there interpretations of Bob's just sheer lyrical cloud of lyrics and places and people and figures and all of these things that he's strung together into this long acoustic song. Let's see, and this is of course the front and the back with a nice lengthy description. Once again, I really do like when they include these. It's a very nice way to have immersion into these records. And there's that Columbia inner sticker there once again, which is pretty cool. And moving onward from there to the last record of this set. I thank any and all of you for hanging in there throughout this one, because it is 5 albums, and you gotta give each one its span of time to talk about it, because each one of these I'm very pleased and impressed with. And we're gonna close with James Brown's Greatest Hits. Now, if you've been following me recently, or you'll see in my RSD14 video, I've gotten a little more into soul music, a little bit more into a genre that I didn't really have a lot in my record collection, a lot in general, actually. I had a little bit of Otis Redding, a little bit of Ray Charles, some of these smoky kind of slower toned kind of guys. And with James Brown, while there is the same sort of element in that soul element and the the lilting songs to Lovers Gone Far Away kind of at times on this record, there's just this, they call James Brown the godfather of soul for a reason. And there's just such an immediately intense, just sheer chaotic bullet point energy of just this. It's like you don't even need to see James to know. Just like when he was in his heyday, he was a wrecking ball with the hot and hit and all and the it brings to mind the old hot tub sketch that Eddie Murphy did on SNL back in the old days. But at the same time, he was just so in control of it. He was just fluid. He was just energy, and that's just what's so impressive about this record, even though it is just the greatest hits comp. But Papa's got a brand new bag. I got you. I feel good. Cold sweat. It's cold sweat. I can't stand myself. It's a man's world. I'll go crazy. There was a time. I got the feeling. Please, please, please. It just goes, and you gotta put on a fancy hat from 1948 and just dance behind this thing, because this record is you can't just sit down with this and brood over it. You gotta be happy. You gotta get up. You gotta get happy, because this thing it has "Get Happy" written all over it. It's awesome. But that's the front cover, because we are really getting long here on time. Anyway, this is the back. I could talk all night about this stuff. That's what I love about making these videos, doing this stuff. I could talk all night about it. I love it. And inside, we have this. Plays beautifully. Is on the Rhino Records thing, which the Rhino is inspired by the film Grease, apparently. And beautiful. No problem with any of these playing. Great quality. Not a bad price. And you get up and you get to sweat. You get the cold sweat. You get it going. You do the whole thing, and you really get a variety of tones and moods. And when it gets right down to it, can you do any better than the classics? And I say that as a rhetorical question, because no, you cannot. You cannot get better than things like this. It's too awesome. Too many records to talk about. Really excited about all of them. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for enjoying my silly interest in all this stuff. Follow along, subscribe, leave comments, click the ads to, keep me out of the dingy poorhouse, because clearly that's obviously what it looks like. And make sure to keep you here, because there will be plenty more content soon to come.